Hello everyone. So today in this lecture we are going to study the further part of Clostridium perfringens. In previous lectures we have studied morphological characteristics of Clostridium perfringens and also we have studied the cultural characteristics of Clostridium perfringens organism. It is a gram-positive rod-shaped organism which causes a disease or it causes multiple types of infections including gas gangrene. It causes necrosis, tissue necrosis. It also affects different body parts, and most importantly, it affects it causes food poisoning. Okay, so this organism, it is a gram-positive rod-shaped organism. It also shows filamentous type of structure. It is usually a non-motile organism, spore-producing organism. It produces oval-shaped spores which are located subterminally. This organism can be cultivated on a variety of media. One of the media is Mauritius selective media, which contains some antibiotic, and this organism can tolerate antibiotics like neomycin. Then another media like Robertson Cook media is commonly used for enrichment of Clostridium perfringens. Okay, so blood agar is used on which it shows target hemolytic colonies. So these are some morphological and cultural characteristics that we have already discussed in the previous lecture. In today's lecture, we are going to study first biochemical characteristics of this organism. So the point is biochemical characteristics of Clostridium perfringens. The Clostridium perfringens organism, it can ferment a variety of sugars. Especially, it can ferment glucose positive. Then lactose, it is a lactose fermenting organism, so it shows lactose fermentation test positive. Sucrose and maltose, so it can ferment these type of sugars. Glucose, which is a monosaccharide, lactose is a disaccharide, sucrose is a disaccharide, maltose is a disaccharide. So it can ferment these sugars with production of both acid as well as gas. Okay, this organism, it not only shows that glucose or acid production tastes positive while fermenting these sugars, but this organism, it can also show in-weak results. The in-weak results are in-weak test results for this organism are indole test negative, methyl layer test, it shows methyl layer test positive, then repeat test negative, and the important feature of this organism is it can produce H2S. H2S test positive. So the in-weak results for this organism are it shows indole test negative, methyl layer test positive, August-Kloska test negative results, but this organism can produce H2S. This H2S production can be performed by using lead acid paper on which blackening shows positive test, no blackening, no change in color indicates negative test for H2S. Okay, so these are some biochemical characteristics. Besides this organism is also known to liquefy gelatin, so it shows gelatin liquefaction test positive. Shows gelatin liquefaction test positive. Besides this organism, it can also reduce nitrate. It can reduce nitrate. So this organism, it shows multiple characteristics, multiple biochemical characteristics. Now the biochemical characteristics of determine just to identify this organism. So these are some important highlighting characteristics of this organism. So it shows glucose test positive, glucose fermentation positive, lactose fermentation positive, sucrose, maltose positive. In-weak results are quite indole test negative, methyl layer positive, VP test negative. It shows or it can produce H2S gas. Then gelatin liquefaction test positive, and it can reduce nitrate. So nitrate reduction test is also positive for this particular organism. There is one more test performed to determine the lactose fermenting ability. म्हणजे हा ऑर्गॅनिझम लॅक्टोज फर्मेंट करतो की नाही हे डिटरमाइन करण्यासाठी एक स्पेसिफिक टेस्ट परफॉर्म केली जाते. The purpose of this test is to determine the lactose fermenting ability. And for this, the test performed is known as litmus milk test. Litmus milk test is performed to determine lactose fermenting ability of organism. So how we can determine the organism can ferment lactose or not? Just by using simple peptide we can determine. But there is more specific test, and this specific test is litmus milk test. आता याच्यामध्ये काय केलं जातं litmus milk test मध्ये? तर in this litmus milk is used. Litmus milk म्हणजे काय? सिम्पली इट इज अ मिल्क बेस्ड मीडिया. मिल्क असतं त्याच्यामध्ये आणि त्या मिल्क मध्ये लिटमस ऍड केलं जातं, लिटमस पावडर. लिटमस काय आहे? लिटमस इट इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ डिफरंट डाईज और इट इज अ मिक्सचर ऑफ डिफरंट डाईज. सो मिल्क बेस्ड मीडिया इज देयर. असा मीडिया की ज्या मीडियामध्ये मिल्क आहे, बिकॉज वी नो मिल्क इज अन complete nutrient which supports the growth of variety of organisms. So milk media is used. In that litmus is added. Litmus contains dyes, pH indicator dyes. Okay, so litmus milk is prepared, or milk based litmus media is prepared. In this litmus milk, organism suspension is added. Suspension of organism is added in the litmus milk. Once again I repeat, what is litmus milk? Litmus milk means it is a milk based media. मिल्क आहे त्याच्यामध्ये, त्या मिल्क मध्ये लिटमस ऍड केली जाते, पावडर ऍड केली जाते. आणि लिटमस काय असतं तर त्याच्यामध्ये पीएच इंडिकेटर डाईज असतं. ऍसिडिक कंडिशनला पर्टिक्युलर कलर आणि अल्कलाइन कंडिशनला एक टिपिकल कलर दाखवतात. दिस कॉम्बिनेशन इज कॉल्ड एज लिटमस मिल्क. इन दिस लिटमस मिल्क, सपोज दिस इज अ ट्यूब containing litmus milk. Okay, here it is this litmus milk. Organism suspension is added in this particular tube and then incubated. After incubation, the results are noted down. What are the results, or what is the end point? Initially, before addition of organisms, the color appears to be blue, and after lactose fermentation, the color becomes red. So initially tube चा कलर कसा असतो? ब्ल्यू असतो. आणि जर ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये लॅक्टोज फर्मेंटिंग ॲबिलिटी असेल किंवा ऑर्गॅनिझमने जर लॅक्टोज फर्मेंट केला, दॅट टाइम काय होतं? ऑर्गॅनिझम फर्मेंट्स लॅक्टोज शुगर. लॅक्टोज शुगर फर्मेंट केल्यामुळे काय होतं? इट प्रोड्युसेस ऍसिड, आणि ऍसिड प्रोड्यूस केल्यामुळे काय होतं? लिटमस कलर जो असतो इनिशियली ब्ल्यू असतो. ऍसिड प्रोडक्शन केल्यामुळे आता कंप्लीट मिल्क ऍसिडिक होतं, आणि मिल्क जर ऍसिडिक झालं तर कलर ऑफ दिस मिल्क gets changed to red, so it becomes red from blue to red. This is an end point. So why there is transition in the color from blue to red? Because litmus milk contains milk contains lactose sugar. Organism, if it has ability to ferment lactose sugar, it ferments the lactose and produces acid. Variety of organic acids are produced, and because of which the pH becomes acidic. At acidic pH, the litmus color or the color of milk media changes from blue to red. So here the results are red color indicates positive taste, or no change in color. If color remains blue, that indicates the taste is negative. Okay, so if color changes from blue to red, we can conclude that given organism present in this suspension contains, or it has ability to ferment lactose sugar. This is simply an litmus milk test. Okay, but this is not only the observation for this particular test. Some other observations can also be made, like एक झालं, that is we can determine acid production. इथं आपण acid production बघितलं. acid production. आता acid production केल्यावर काय होतं? Organism produces acid. Milk contains a protein called as casein protein. It also contains some minor proteins like globulins. So milk contains proteins, especially casein protein, major protein आहे तो milk मधला. Acid production केल्यामुळे काय होतं? All those proteins gets coagulated. Proteins gets coagulated, aggregate होतं protein चे, and protein चे aggregates form होतात. म्हणजे kind of curdling observed. So because of acid production, there is coagulation of milk protein. And once milk protein is coagulated, then suppose organism has gas production ability. Beside acid production, suppose it has gas production ability, then what are the observations? If suppose organism has produced acid that results into coagulation of proteins, then if suppose it has a gas production ability, then these aggregates of proteins they get separated, distributed. Because of gas production, these are the clots of proteins. So clots of proteins also. What happens? Because of acid production, all protein gets coagulated, and because of gas production, these coagulated aggregated structures of protein they get separated. Okay, because of which the appearance is observed. This particular kind of appearance is observed, and this is known as stormy clot. This is known as stormy clot. Storm. कारण ऍसिड प्रोडक्शन केल्यामुळे ऍग्रीगेट्स फॉर्म झाले, क्लॉट्स तयार झाले, आणि गॅस प्रोडक्शन केल्यामुळे क्लॉट्स सगळे सेपरेट झाले, त्यामुळे एकदम असं स्टॉर्म काइंड ऑफ अपीयरन्स होतो. दिस इज नोन एज स्टॉर्मी क्लॉट. So overall, in litmus milk test, we can determine acid production ability of organism, as well as we can also determine the gas production ability of organism after lactose fermentation. So to determine whether this organism has lactose fermenting ability or not, we can perform litmus milk test. This is common test performed for Clostridium perfringens organism. So these are some biochemical properties, characteristics of this particular organism. Then after completing biochemical characteristics, let's move towards the next point, and that is antigenic characteristics of organism. Antigenic characteristics of Clostridium perfringens. आपण लास्ट लेक्चरला ऑलरेडी डिस्कस केलेलं की क्लॉस्ट्रिडियम ऑर्गॅनिझम काय करतो, इट इज नोन टू प्रोड्यूस व्हरायटी ऑफ टॉक्सिन्स. त्यामुळे तो फूड पॉइझनिंग करतो, टिश्यू नेक्रोसिस करतो, गॅस गँग्रीन सुद्धा करतो. त्याच्यामध्ये सुद्धा टिश्यू डॅमेज होतात, स्वेलिंग, देन पेन्स, स्किन बिकम्स डार्क. दीज आर सिम्पटम्स ऑफ गँग्रीन. वी विल स्टडी लेटर ऑन. सो it causes multiple infections and it produces variety of toxins. This organism overall it produces 12 different types of toxins. It produces overall 12 types of toxins. पण यातले सगळेचे सगळे टॉक्सिन प्रत्येक वेळी ऑर्गॅनिझम प्रोड्यूस केलेले असं नाही. It has ability to produce 12 different types of toxins. But the production of toxin is associated with certain infection. म्हणजेच काय, एक्झाम्पल आता समजा गॅस गँग्रीन इन्फेक्शन असेल तर गॅस गँग्रीन इन्फेक्शन हे युजली अल्फा टॉक्सिन म्हणून असतं. ओके, सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन इन्फेक्शन व्हरायटी ऑफ टॉक्सिन्स आर ऑब्झर्व्ड. It can produce variety of toxins. It can produce 12 different types of toxins. But overall, the common 4 types of toxins are observed in multiple infections. हा ऑर्गॅनिझम जवळजवळ 10 प्रकारचे इन्फेक्शन कॉज करतो, आणि या सगळ्या इन्फेक्शन मध्ये जे कॉमन टॉक्सिन्स ऑब्झर्व केले असे ओनली 4 टॉक्सिन्स आहेत. And these 4 toxins are alpha toxin. Okay, once again I remind there are 12 types, out of which the 4 major or common types of toxins I am discussing here. Alpha, then beta toxins, then epsilon toxin, and last one is iota toxin. Alpha, beta, epsilon and iota, or you can simply give them a symbolic letter: alpha, beta, epsilon and iota. Okay, so these are the 4 major toxins produced by this organism. आता या हे जे 4 टॉक्सिन्स आहेत, या टॉक्सिन्स प्रोडक्शन ability नुसार this organism is classified into 5 different strains. You know, there are different types of, or there is a most basic taxon of organism, especially bacteria, that is called strain. म्हणजे आपण टॅक्सॉनॉमी रँक बघतो, स्टार्ट करतो आपण स्पेसिस पासून, मग स्पेसिस, जीनस, फॅमिली, क्लास एटसेट्रा, आपण असं बोलत असतो. पण स्पेसिसच्या खाली आपण ते स्पेसिसच्या ज्या व्हरायटी असतात त्यांना आपण मॉर्फोवार्ड किंवा सिलोवार्ड असं म्हणत असतो, किंवा त्याला आपण म्हणतो स्ट्रेन्स. Okay, so based upon the ability to produce these 4 toxins, there are 5 different strains of Clostridium perfringens. 5 strains of Clostridium perfringens. There are 5 different strains of Clostridium perfringens based upon the ability to produce these 4 major toxins. या टॉक्सिन प्रोडक्शन ॲबिलिटी नुसार ऑर्गॅनिझमला क्लासिफाय केले 5 स्ट्रेन्स मध्ये बेस्ड अपॉन टॉक्सिन प्रोडक्शन ॲबिलिटी. And these 5 types or 5 strains of Clostridium is first type 1 strain of Clostridium perfringens. Type 1 strain. Type 1 strain. This strain it can produce only alpha toxin. Type 1 strain can produce only alpha toxin. Okay. Then type 2 toxin or type 2 strain. Sorry, type 2 strain. This type 2 strain it can produce alpha, beta as well as epsilon toxins. It can produce alpha, beta and epsilon, all 3 types of toxins. Then type 3 toxin or type 3 strain, it can produce alpha and beta toxins. Alpha and beta toxins. Type 4 strain, it can produce alpha and epsilon toxin. Alpha and epsilon toxin. And last, that is fifth, type 5 strain. Type 5 strain can produce alpha and iota toxin. Alpha and iota toxin. So these are the 5 different strains of Clostridium perfringens based upon their toxin production ability. Alpha, beta, epsilon and iota. याच्यापैकी कोणता ऑर्गॅनिझम कोणत्या प्रकारचे टॉक्सिन प्रोड्यूस करतो त्यानुसार this organism is classified into 5 strains. Type 1 strain can produce alpha toxin only. Type 2 strain can produce alpha, beta and epsilon toxin. Type 3 can produce alpha and beta toxin. Type 4 can produce alpha and epsilon toxin, and while the type 5 strain can produce alpha and iota toxin. या सगळ्यांमध्ये एक कॉमन थिंग काय आहे तर all 5 strains they produces alpha toxin. All type 1, type 2, 3, 4, 5 strains they can produce alpha toxins, and remaining toxin determines their identity. So alpha toxin is common to all strains. The chemical nature of alpha toxin is it is chemically phospholipase. It is chemically phospholipase C. Phospholipase C it acts on phosphoenol pyruvate. Sorry, it acts on PIP2, phosphoinositol phosphate. It cleaves PIP2 into IP3 and diacylglycerol. So phospholipase C it acts on phospholipid, especially the phospholipid is PIP3. It acts on PIP3. PIP3 is cleaved and that produces, it is not necessary actually, but just for information, it is cleaved to produce IP3 and diacylglycerol. PIP2 is cleaved. PIP2 is cleaved to IP3, inositol phosphate and diacylglycerol phosphate.